you ever see a friend and think that that's what love is? This is all what you're going to get tonight for $20 if you reserve it in advance. $25 at the door. All of these things and more are guaranteed money back. And if you don't like it, Libby will give the money out of her own checkbook. All of these things in one night. You just have to do one thing. You have to open up your imagination. And then you get all those things. So the Kabbalah is saying, I actually prepared for today. Not that I don't normally prepare. I always prepare. But today I actually prepared for like 2.5 hours. And this is after already leading a Seder last night that was practiced in a new city. Although you don't know, I have another Seder tomorrow night, so this may also be practiced. You never know. Now this is the real thing. This is Bo Bayom. This is the real deal. This is like yesterday was Reform, tomorrow's Conservative, tonight is Orthodox. Yesterday wasn't Reform. Yesterday was Conservative. So here's what the Ramosha Cordovero, the Ramak, and Pardes Rimonim. This is such a beautiful book. I was giving over a little bit of it in my shir Thursday night. Who was there Thursday night? Remember a little bit of Ramosha Cordovero, what we were learning a little bit? Great, awesome stuff. So this is really about the 4 worlds, because the Seder is about the 4 worlds. And you say, 4 worlds. Like, this rabbi is on something, and I want some. What are the 4 worlds? What is he talking about? Does anybody know what these 4 worlds are? Yes. I'd sure like to see them. Okay, good. 5. There's 5. There's only 5?
In general.
In general sense. Okay, the general sense. Actually, they say there's infinite worlds. Which means there's a lot of worlds out there. But let's just take it from let's take your body by way of example. Look at your body. Don't look too closely. Okay, here. Put your hand on yourself, right? There you are. There's like big parts of you and there's little parts of you. There's like internal organs and there's external limbs, right? But if you were to look even closely, inside the organs there's cells. And inside the cells, there's even smaller. You can break it down to atomic and even a subatomic level. And you're part of what? You're part of a community. You're part of a family. And you're part of a shared planet, Earth. But that's just part of a bigger planetary system that revolves around the sun, according to some people. Who don't know what they're talking about, by the way. Absolutely don't know what they're talking about. Ignorant people. I'm just kidding. Then, the sun is part of a bigger picture. It's part of the solar system is just a little tiny itty bitty thing in the galaxy that we're in, right? And it goes on. So you could go to the tiniest subatomic level, to the biggest, to all the galaxies, and things we don't even know that go beyond the imagination of even science right now. Where are you? It's so funny that people were so threatened by scientific discovery that we weren't in the center of things. As if being in the center of things was some literal thing of physically being in the center. And that would like shake up our religious worldview if we're not right physically in the center. The center of things, it's in your mind. Your mind is the center of things. Okay? If you think you're the center, you're the center. Come on. Do you really think you're the center? Yes, you really do. Are you? Probably not. So, what's the problem there? But if we were just to look at this, have you ever gone to the observatory and watched a show of all the stars in the sky? You know what I'm talking about? You felt like really little.
The planetarium, right?
The planetarium. Have any of you been to the planetarium? And I'm not talking about the one here. It doesn't count because it's too fancy. I'm talking about the old school planetarium where they have the dome They still have a dome here, and you see all the stars, and they show you, you know what I'm talking about? And they show you how minuscule you are. You're not even small. You like don't even exist. But then again, you forget that experience. You forget how big the world is, and you're back to yourself again. Well, what if you did exist, and you were only a small part of everything, but you could actually make a big difference? And what if all of those planets, what if you could only exist, and all of those planets can only exist because of you? Right? Maybe it's a metaphor. Maybe I'm making it up. I don't know. I mean, I'm quoting other people. Who knows? So this is a world of doubts. You know why this is a world of doubts? This world is like a walnut. It's got a peel, it's got a shell, a heavy shell. The outside of the walnut looks like it's just like a little bit of a rock. Stubborn and hard and difficult. This world, I can explain it in ways that have nothing to do with holiness. I could explain how the things that we feel, whether we call it love or community or whatever it is, they're not real. It's an illusion. It's a fluke. It's a fluke of nature. What is a world? A world has time and space. We talked a little bit about space, the different dimensions of space, from the littlest to the biggest. In time, we know the way the sun and the moon and our days and our nights, our weeks and months and years, our 70, 80, 90 years of life, 100. This world, we're full of contradictions. Who isn't full of contradictions? If you find somebody in this world who's not full of contradictions, they're not really human. They're part angel. They're a tzaddik. They're like God had to put them here. The rest of us are torn up inside. There's different parts of the brain fighting with each other. You know that? There are little voices in our head. They're actually like these little voices, like little men or women, telling us what to do, fighting with each other. These are perfectly normal people. You know what I'm talking about? I told the story. I'm reading this book called The Happiness Hypothesis. It's a great book. When I read this book, I'm going to be happy. It's actually not one of those books like, oh, here, be happy. It actually says something. Instead of just be happy, a whole book is saying be happy 1,000 times. Those books make me depressed. This book actually has something intelligent to say. One of the things he talks about is the nature of morality and how the mental systems that produce and create morality are the lack of it. He talks about a 40-year-old man, a physician, respected, normal, good person. All of a sudden he starts acting out. He starts visiting prostitutes. He starts looking for sex on the internet, and he propositions minors. He gets caught. He has a court date.